everyone, let us get the house going, shall we? Alright, so here's the template for the front and the back. We will need that, and you will need 2 of the sides. Or if you want, you can just use the front 2 times. I mean, it's the same thing, just don't cut out the windows. These are the front windows. This is where the bay window will come, and this is where the door goes. You have so many options here. You can not do the bay window if you don't want. You don't have to do the windows. You don't even have to do the doors. You don't have to cut these out if you don't want to, and then just cut out when you get to the mat, you know, and then your paper will end up being what you see through the mat. If you want to do it that way, it's totally up to you. That is what I designed this for, to be customized for you to do your house the way that you want it to look. Or, you know, you could cut it out and not put you can cut the door out and then cut the mat of the door out, but then just do the frame and not put the door in, you know, if you want it just to look like it's an opening there. It's totally up to you what way you want to do it. Now, I am going to show you, because I do have to cut this out again, because what happened was when I originally did this, I was off. I noticed it once I got my house, the prototype put together. That's why you do a prototype, you know, to see what's working, what's not working, edit things. So I had to do a little bit of editing, but and this is one of them. What had happened was, I don't know if you can tell, but it's off just a smidgen, right? And so when you get this done and then you put the dog ear gables on the roof, the dog ear gable for this side, the windows were not lining up underneath it. It was off a little bit, just a little bit, but enough for someone like me that bothered me. So I fixed it though. So this is this is my original template that I used. So now I cannot use it, because then it will not be right. So I have to redo and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you see, this side was perfect. It lined up right underneath the dog ear gables. See this one, how it's off? So it was off a little bit, but you know what? That's okay. I fixed it. It's no longer off. So your copy will not be off. But I need to cut out this copy now, because this is what I actually need to use. This one is no good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you, in case you're wondering, how do you cut out these, which, you know, I'll show you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my trimmer to cut this part out, because like I can't cut straight. I need my trimmer to keep that line straight for me. This is a score line right here, and I forgot to label that. Oh, I apologize. I thought I caught all those. But this is a score line right here, this part. You're going to score that. So I'm going to go ahead and let me cut this out. I'll do it off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got that part cut out. Now I just need to cut this off and cut that off. And I'm going to go ahead and score it, because I need to do that. Oops. Right. hope y'all did not just hear my tummy grumble. Alright. So there we go. So now what I need to do, and this is, I am not going to tell a fib. I'm not going to tell a fibby. This is the most time consuming part of this whole thing, is cutting these windows out. I just put on my music and just rocked and rolled it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so cute. You just can't help to not do it. But, man, it does get a little tedious. I'm not going to tell no fib. I'm not a fibber. But it's worth it, y'all, though. It really, really, really is. So, I'm going to use my craft knife on my paper. I'm not going to use the utility knife. I'm going to use my craft knife. And I need my straight edge. Where did it go? Well, I don't know. Oh, it's on the floor. Okay. So, I think what I'm gonna do is, again, because this is hand done, right? I did this by hand. As you can see here, it looks a little off, but it's not. It is a straight edge because I used my trimmer. You know what I'm saying? And so because, you know, you do things by hand, the ink can be wider at one point than the other, right? So that's why I'm suggesting highly that you get a straight edge. And I love this. I got this ruler at Joann's, and pardon the way it looks, but it has just glue on it from me making the house and everything, and I've just not tidied it up. But I love it because it's got the little marks. It's in centimeters. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But it does have the little marks that you can use as guidelines. So what I like to do is just use a line up here at the top, and then the line down at the bottom, and then that way I know that I've got a straight edge going on, right? So, and for the most part, the lines are straight when it's all said and done. It's just this will help you make sure that you're cutting it out straight. So, and with the paper, you only need one pass, really. And what I found to do, I hope my head is not in the way. And what I found to do is to just go one, like go this way, this way, this way, this way, and then go this way, this way, this way. That's what I found to do. Kind of like an assembly line, I guess you would say. Then we'll go over to this one. And again, I'm just making sure I'm lining that line right there to that edge, because I know this edge is straight. And then there's a little line down here that I can see, and I'm just making sure that lines up to that because I know that edge is straight. And if you do that, then you know your whole edge is straight going down. Right? I'm hoping this is making sense. I'm sure, you know, and I'm sure others, I tried to find a punch, y'all. I really did, to make this less time consuming. But, you know, I had no luck in that area. So, you just have to do it by hand. And again, it's worth it because it ends up being super duper duper cute. So, I'm just going to continue doing this to cut my template out. And then I will come back and show you the next step that we need to do once all of our templates are cut out. So I will be back, y'all. I just wanted to show you. Okay, so I'm on this part now, and what makes it a lot less time consuming is, again, you know, get your edge straight, but it should all be the same all the way down this way. Like this window, this window, this window, and this window. So that makes it a lot faster when you're cutting them out after you get it the other way, because you can just go straight down and do all 4 windows at the same time. So I just wanted to point that out. As long as you have the straight edge, just stick with your straight edge, and then the windows will pop right on out, like so. You know? So let me do these other 4 and I'll be back. Okay, and now that I've got this cut out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some double-sided tape on using my ATG, and I take off the majority of the tape. It just helps it to be sticky, but not so sticky that it won't come off, so that it will hold your template onto your chipboard, or, you know, when you're housing it in whatever way you house it. So now we are going to just make the template. We're going to use the template, not make it, we just made the template. We're going to use the template and just put it on our chipboard. Right. And I'm just making sure it's nice and straight. And I'm going to use my pencil and my straight edge, and I'm just going to trace it out. Just like we did the platform. Okay, and again, we're just going to lift this up so we can know where to score. Okay. And we're going to have to cut out the doors and the door and the windows all over again out of the chipboard, or at least I am doing that. Oops, a little hard there. And again, I'm just gonna I'm using my utility knife, or I'm going to cut all this stuff out. So the first time you make this house, it's going to be a lot of cutting of the windows, because you got to do it for the templates. And then you have to do it on the chipboard, and then on the mats. You have to do it on the mats as well. So, but once you get your template, then it's not so bad. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so now I'm going to use my utility knife. And I'm wondering if my blade is dull. Maybe that's what happened yesterday when I had that mishap. Let me change my blade. I think that's what the problem was. I'll be back. Okay, so I've got a new blade on my utility knife, and I'm just going to cut this out using my straight edge. I want to make sure that I'm straight, just in case, you know, I cut it a little, or I traced it a little crooked. I'm going to cut out out. I'm actually going to go ahead and score this before I cut it out. It's just a little easier, I feel. And again, I'm not giving it a lot of pressure. Just a little. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and cut out the bottom. Okay. All right. Just cut these little tabs off. All right. Yeah, see, there you go. I needed a new blade, y'all. All right, now we're gonna do just basically the same thing that we did when we cut the template out. You're just gonna make sure that you're straight, which it looks like I am. And then you're just gonna end up, this is very tedious work, but it is so worth it. It makes the house look so cute, y'all. Come on, come out. There you go. So there is the front of our house. Cut out and ready to go. Cool, huh? Okay, and so now all we need to do is do the back. And again, you can use that same template if you want, or I did create a back template, but they are the same size, so it doesn't really matter. You're just going to line it up. I like to use the straight edges of the chipboard so I know I'm getting straight lines, you know. And then we will just trace it out. And then we'll cut it out with the box knife. And this is the easier one. And then after we get the back done, we will take the side and we will do the same thing, trace it and cut it out as well. So I will be back with y'all when I get the back and the sides. Now remember, you're going to need two sides, of course. So make sure you cut two sides out. And again, the windows are optional. You do not have to do the windows if you do not want to do the windows. So the windows are optional. Alright, so I'll be back with you when I get all this cut out. Okay, I just wanted to point out that when you do the windows on the sides, it is a lot faster, easier, because you can go just straight, well, you know, not straight down, but like this window here, and then there's a window here, and then there's a window here, but it all should be one straight line. So if you just go down and then down all those and then flip it this way and then go straight down. So it's not as tedious as the front. Just to point that out for the side. Okay, I've got all my pieces cut out and the windows cut out. And now what I'm going to do on my house is I'm going to put some shaker stuff in the windows and the door. I'm not going to put it in the bay window because once you put the bay window part on, you really won't see what's in here. But I will probably end up doing it on the bay window itself. The way that I'm going to do it is I have It's just a page protector. It is from Office Depot, and it's a clear heavyweight page protector. And I'm going to use it, and I'm going to just make my shakers out of it. This is so much easier because you don't have to use foam tape, because the thickness of the chipboard is awesome. So what you need to do is take your protector, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm not like really gonna, you know, make it all perfect or whatever. You know, as long as it's covering these windows, we are good. So I'm just gonna use my straight edge. See if I can't find my Sharpie marker, and of course I can't. It's somewhere on this messy desk. I mean, you don't have to cut it out perfectly straight either, because as long as you're covering the windows, you're good. I'm actually gonna, well, I don't want to do that. That's gonna cut my chipboard. Duh, Gina, duh, 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 duh. Where is a Sharpie? Here, I'll use this one. I don't know where my black one went. But I'm just gonna kind of just eyeball it here. Right. As long as you're giving it a good edge from the windows themselves, it should be good. You know what I mean? I'll go about like that. We'll just do like that. Good enough, good enough, good enough. So I'm just going to cut on this line, and I will get 2 out of this. So that's awesome. And you don't have to worry about doing it but 2 times with these. I mean, once. Right? So I hope y'all can see that. It might be very, you know, a little difficult, but there you go. So I'm going to take score tape, and I'm just going to put score tape around the edges of the window. So I've got all my score tape where I want it. So now I'm going to just put all my equipment is disappearing on me. My desk is crazy. My goodness gracious. Okay. And then I'm just going to lay this like that. Take my bone folder and make sure it's good and secured on there, because that's what's going to hold everything in place. And again, you want to do this before you put the house together if you're going to put the shakers in. Again, this is an optional step. You don't have to do this. Okay, so now we have our thingies in there, right? So now we get to do the fun part, and that's to put shaker items in these things. Again, I'm not Okay, I do this all the time. I get so excited about actually putting the stuff inside the holes that I forget to do this step first. Why didn't y'all yell at me? Why didn't y'all say, Gina, no, don't do that yet. Put your tape down first. Okay. So I'm going to carefully, so put your tape down first, y'all, because you might end up hitting it and all this stuff will spill out. Okay, so I have my vellum, and I actually got this at Office Depot too for $7.99, 40 sheets. Perfect. I mean, it's clear. It's what I wanted, so this works perfectly. Okay, so if you use the vellum, if you put it over the stuff, that is what it's going to look like. Okay? So it's your choice. If you want your door to look like that, you know, then use the vellum, right? Because that's what it's going to end up looking like. If you want to be able to see the shakers really, really, really well, all the stuff you put in it, then of course, if you use the plastic, the protector, then, you know, you're going to be able to see this a lot better. So when you open the door, it's gonna be bam, right in your face. Do you know what I'm saying? So that is your preference on whatever way you want to do it. This one for sure, I am putting down the page protector because again, the bay window itself is going to be covering this. You really are not going to see it, but I just wanted it in there. And this is where you have to really, really be careful taking this tape off. It's almost like you're playing Operation. Where did my thing go? There it is. Right, and then we're just going to put that over it. And we're going to make sure it's good and stuck down. Right. Okay. Now, I have to decide, do I want, in my prototype, I used vellum on the door. And you can't really see what's inside. I really like the big leaves here, so I'm going to use this. No, come back. I'm going to actually use the page protector on the door, because I want to be able to see that when the door is open. Everything is good and alright. So now, oh y'all. See, because I filled them. Oh, I love it. I should have filled the door a little bit more with the little things, because see how they're falling to the bottom, but the windows, as you can tell, they are full. So I love that. Love it. And I love it either way. I like it. It's pretty. All right, so the front is done. Let me show you what I was talking about. The sides. So if you put your vellum or your protector sheets, whatever you're going to use, if you put it on the inside, like this is the outside, right? This is what you're going to mat. This is the part that you're going to see. If you put it on the inside, let me show you. The windows, because it's so thick, it kind of looks weird to me personally. especially after you get it matted on there. It doesn't quite look like that's a window pane. But if you put it on this side, and then if you mat it, let me just get the template for the mat. And then when you mat it, you see how it looks like a window more than if you were to do it this way. I hope that is making sense to y'all. That's just my recommendation. It's only because you see like the chipboard and everything, so to speak. So it's up to you. All right. I think what I'm going to do on these, see, I could go ahead and just put the vellum on and not put any shakers on the side of the house. I'm going to think about what I want to do. I don't know if I want to put shakers in the side of the house or if I want to just do windows. Okay, I'm going to have to think. Okay, I think I've made the decision. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the clear on this side, the clear protector, and then I am going to put some shaker stuff in it, and then I'm going to put the vellum on this side. So that's what I'm going to do with the sides. And I'm not going to videotape that because, you know, you've already seen me do that, but I just wanted to let you know what I was planning on doing. But this is a little easier because, I mean, you could, you know, even go that long way if you want, if you don't want to cut them out, but, oops. This is why you use straight edge, folks. Don't try this at home. Okay. And those will go there. And then I'll do another down here. So I will get back with you once I get all of the shakers in. Okay, so I've got the vellum on top of the windows. I like it okay. I mean, of course, if you wanted it brighter, you know, use the other stuff. Use the protectors, but I think that's going to look kind of cute. Like it's frosted. That's the way I'm looking at it. Okay, so let's get the house put together. All right. So you're going to take your front and the first thing that we want to do is we're going to put score tape on the flaps, on the very bottom of the flaps, on all the pieces of the house. So let's do that. So let's put score tape on the very bottom flap. Okay. Now, leave the backing on the tape. We're not ready to take that off quite yet, but you want to go ahead and have it on the bottoms of the house, of the pieces of house. Okay, now what we want to do is the house is going to butt together. Instead of making hinges, we're just using these as hinges, right? So the house is going to come together like so. So now what we need to do on the sides of the house, we need to put more score tape down this edge, down the edges. So let's do that. So we're going to put score tape down the edge. Okay, so now that we've got the sides Now what we want to do is we want to take the backing off of just one side for right now. Okay, and we're going to use Fabri-Tac because we do want it sturdy. So we'll put a little bit of Fabri-Tac down on that glue, on the score tape. And I'm just going to start with the front. Doesn't matter how you start it. And I'm just lining them up, right? And giving just a little bit of an edge so that it can move. And this is another reason why it's good to use the Fabri-Tac, because it gives you a chance to move it if you need to. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit more pressure on the front side and the back side. Okay, and then there is one side of the house done. Right? Now, let's add another side to the house. Right. Put the Fabri-Tac down on the tape. And then I'm going to turn it this way so I have room. Then I'm just going to line it up, leaving just a little space. But before I burnish it down, I want to make sure that it will be able to bend, and it does. So take my cone folder and give it some good old-fashioned bending. Okay, so now we have the front and sides on, right? So now we just basically do the exact same thing with the back of the house. And this is when you need a huge, humongous desk. So that it can all go on there. Again, we're going to use our Fabri-Tac on the tape for stability. It gives it a little extra stability and a little bit of wiggle room that you need. And before we set it down, we want to make sure that the sides are gonna be able to open and or sorry, I'm off camera. I just want to make sure that we can. And I'm gonna take my bone folder, give it some good old-fashioned elbow grease. It's just very cumbersome. Okay. Now, and then what we want to do is now we're near where we need to just put these together, right? And then our house is complete. Except for putting the matting on, and we will do that after we do this. Again, sorry, just took the backing off. together. All right. Okay, I'm just looking at it and I've got my hand inside and I'm just pushing down to make sure that it's attaching. And now I'm using my bone folder to go in and out to hold it down. Okay, and now whatever way you want to do it, put the sides in first. Do like that. Okay. And I'm going to just use just a touch of glue there. And hold it together with my fingers just for a second. Till it adheres. And if you want to make sure that it is square, you can use your score mat and have it flush in the corners so that you know that you've got a square going on here, that the house is put together right. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this side, the other side, just a dot, because I do want to make sure that the edges are going to stay together. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this end over here. Okay, now you get your platform that we've already made, right? It's already made. And we're going to go ahead and take the backing off of the bottom, right? And we're going to put a little bit of the Fabri-Tac glue, or you can just use regular glue if you want, but I want to make sure it's going to stay. So I'm using the Fabri-Tac. Alright, now we're going to turn it. And we're just, I mean, you can measure it if you like, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball it because I don't, you know, I'm not going to be too particular how much space is in the front to the back to the sides. As long as it looks halfway decent, then it's okay. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going inside the house and I am burnishing the sides down so that, okay, that was just off. So that the tape is now really good onto the bottom of the box. I got this a little crooked, but that's okay. I don't mind it. It's all right for me. Okay, and so now our house is secured onto our platform, right? And I've gone ahead and I've printed fronts and sides. So I'm going to cut those out, and here are the house edges if you want to cover your edge, which I do. Because you know, I don't like a raw edge. So I'm going to go ahead and cut everything out, but I will show you this. Let us continue. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to put the edges, the house edge on, because I want it to have a nice corner on it. I'm not a fan of this raw edge. Some people are, and that is great if you're one of them. But I want it to be a little bit cleaner, so I'm going to go ahead and put the edges on. And with that, I'm going to use my score tape. And so now all we're going to do is we're going to take off the edges here, if I can find something pointy. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of glue stick just so that I know I have a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm just going to line it up like so. Sorry about the dog. Roxy, shh. And I'm just going to do this for all 4 sides. Once I get it on, I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure it's good and secure. So I'm going to do that for all the sides of the house. Okay, so I've got all of the edges on the house. It just makes it look... Alright, and so here is my front of my house. Again, your mats, I made it where you can have it either flush or you can cut it to whatever way you want to cut it. Because I know some people like, you know, just a small, like maybe 1/8 of an inch. Some people like 1/4 of an inch, you know. I mean, it's totally your preference. So, I kind of left it wide so you could cut it to whatever length you want it to be. Come on, glue. What's going on with you today? There we go. Alright, I'm just using my Fabri-Tac. I always find it's the best to use to put paper down onto the chipboard. But of course, use whatever glue you like, your favorite. Okay, so there we have it, y'all. Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's it for this video. This is how you put the house itself together. And so now our next video, my next video will be to put the roof on and the door frame and the bay window. So that is our next step in the chimney. So stay tuned for that video. It should be up hopefully by either Wednesday or Thursday of this week. Today's the 28th. So either the 30th or the 31st. I should have that video up. I decided to give you a 75% off coupon code. It will be good until tomorrow at midnight Eastern my time. Eastern Time, the 29th. So here's the code GBS LH75. So if you put that in when you get ready to check out, it will give you 75% off of everything on my store, which right now is just this template. All right, y'all, look for the video for the finish of the roof, and then our house will be complete, and I am already almost done. I'm 75% done with a smaller version. It's the small house, not medium, but small. So be on the lookout for that as well. All right, y'all. Y'all be good to one another. Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video if you liked it. Share it. Subscribe if you've not subscribed. Hit the notification bell. All of that helps me so much. Thanks, y'all. Y'all be good to one another. I'll talk to you later. Bye.